Welcome to another UCL Fantasy video. I'm going to be talking about my team ahead of Matchday 4, providing a brief recap of Matchday 3 and my possible transfers that can also affect future Matchdays as well. So let's get straight into the video. So in Matchday 3, I played my wildcard and I got 98 points despite selling the likes of Jorginho, who got 18 points, Salah, who I believe got 16, Mbappe, who hauled, and a few others. Even Alberto Moreno came off the bench and scored. So I'm not even too sure how much. I didn't calculate. I probably don't want to. But maybe I would have earned a similar amount of points regardless. But I'd like to think that the wildcard was pretty decent. I got in the likes of Cancelo, Lewandowski, Sane in particular, who was really good. And if you actually look at my starting 11, pretty much everyone produced a return, and that is why I ended up doing really well. I'm now pretty much 883rd in the world, so I was around the 3,000 mark after a really good Matchday 2 Limitless, and I continued that with nearly another Centurion number in Matchday 3. So very happy with that, and just kind of briefly going over these players. So Adeyemi got a goal, and I was confident of him getting a return, and I think for his price he is probably the best you can go for up front anyway. And Adeyemi's been very impressive this season. He hasn't blanked so far in the Champions League, and long may it continue, and he's offering great value. Hopefully he can keep it going. Lewandowski, very similar. A bit surprising that, Bayern won by such a margin against Benfica, and Lewandowski only with the one return, but still, this guy is just an absolute beast at the moment, and I still think he's the best premium striker you can go for, especially with Haaland being out for potentially the rest of the year. So I think Lewandowski is the one to go for up front for sure. And then we have Karim Benzema. He actually got man of the match points, and for some reason I checked live score and he actually got the assist for one of the goals, but didn't count on UCL Fantasy, so obviously that was a bit strange, but end of the day, still got some points. I'm very happy with him, and of course I am still thinking of getting Haller up front in place of Benzema, but not ahead of this game. I think Shakhtar Donetsk, they showed that they're the weakest team in the group pretty much, and I think Real Madrid could beat them comfortably yet again. So happy to hold Benzema on for another week at least. Alvarez even got some points as well because of the ball recoveries, which is very important in UCL Fantasy, so happy with that. He got a yellow card yet again, so he seems to be a bit of a yellow card magnet, but still he can get some ball recovery points and get you 4 to 5, which is pretty decent to be fair. And then Phil Foden, very happy to bring him in, and just playing that false 9 role for City, he is so crucial. And even against Crystal Palace where he blanked, I still think that the performance was so encouraging, and he was the best player for City, and I think he can continue this. Not a great return against Club Brugge, but still pretty decent, and I'm pretty happy with him going forward. And then we have Leroy Sane. This guy is a completely different player this season, and a must-have, I think, in UCL Fantasy. And even though obviously I got rid of Salah to get Sane, Sane ended up getting more points, and he is cheaper, so I still think Sane is actually the better option to own than Salah even. But of course, if you have both of them, then just enjoy the points pretty much. And then we've got Danjuma with yet another assist. A bit disappointed in a way because Villarreal did score 4 and only 1 return for Danjuma, but still he's been very consistent. Another one who hasn't blanked so far this season. Hopefully I haven't jinxed all of these players, by the way. And then we go on to Nicolas Sula. I was talking about him before. His ball recoveries, just looking at him for the first 2 match days, very impressive, and he continued that yet again. And yeah, Kimmich is now showing a bit of promise with 10 ball recoveries in Matchday 3, but Sula is matching Kimmich, and he is far cheaper. So at the moment, he is the best Bayern defender you can go for. Same with Upamecano. Very surprising though, Bayern Munich did lose 5-0 to Borussia Mönchengladbach in the German Cup. So maybe there will be certain games where Bayern Munich defense do let us down, but so far 3 clean sheets and 3 very good performances for Bayern Munich in the Champions League. And then we have Cesar Azpilicueta. I'm a bit worried about him going forwards because he isn't playing some of these games. Obviously, he just came back from a shoulder injury, but Reece James is starting all of these games at right wing back, and Chelsea are going for different centre backs like Chalobah, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, and Christensen. Hopefully in the Champions League, Azpilicueta continues to start, but I'm a bit worried. But still a good performance in Matchday 3. And then we look at Joao Cancelo, probably the highlight of my wildcard, same of Sane, and a very big performance with the goal. And if he got the clean sheet as well, he would have been in for even more points, 4 more. But still, you can't complain with 13. And Cancelo, very impressive. Hopefully, because Guardiola was talking about this the other day, Zinchenko's going to get some minutes, and it's a long season. Walker and Cancelo are going to need rest at some point. Hopefully it doesn't come anytime soon. And then the goalkeeper, Mendy, just steady really. You get these 6 pointers, maybe occasionally 7 or 8 with the amount of saves he's making at times. But Mendy, just very reliable, and I'm happy to have him. The other keeper I have, not so much. Destanoglu conceded so many goals to Sporting. Even Coates, the former Liverpool player, got a brace, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, not really happy with Destanoglu, but he is 4 million and he plays. It's a bit like Ben Foster, really. It's the equivalent of Ben Foster in UCL Fantasy. So you're just going to have to take it as it comes. Thomas Meunier, very disappointing, but this is the thing that I like about him. He gets so many ball recovery points, and that's what actually appealed to me about him in the first place. Obviously, no attacking returns, and Ajax absolutely destroyed Borussia Dortmund. So, yeah, I mean, Thomas Meunier, to be honest, showing signs of promise, at least into future weeks, but facing Ajax again, I know they're at home, Dortmund, but no Haaland, and I'm just not too sure about Thomas Meunier at this moment in time. Obviously, a 4-0 victory for Ajax, it just completely, I'd say, dampens the spirits surrounding Borussia Dortmund assets, but let's wait and see. And then Jude Bellingham, another one who, still a good asset, still a really good player, but in match days 2 and 3, not really too impressive. So maybe we all reacted a bit too prematurely because of his heroics in match day 1. And then Aymeric Laporte got subbed off just before the 60th minute mark. And if he did, stay on the pitch for just 3 or 4 more minutes and then got subbed off, he would have saved those clean sheet points and, at least got 5. So it is a bit of a shame, to be honest. But yeah, with Laporte, never really been a great asset in any fantasy game, maybe Sky Fantasy, but not in FPL or in UCL Fantasy. Doesn't get too many ball recovery points compared to Cancelo, for example, and the attacking returns. Yeah, he can get some headers here and there, but it's not too often. So Laporte, very disappointing in matchday 3, and he is someone who is on the chopping block, to be honest. But overall, happy with my team, but I do think that Salah is someone who could come back to bite me yet again if I don't have him. And of course, the week I get rid of Jorginho, he gets 18 points, which is absolutely ridiculous. So this is how my team is lining up in matchday 4. And I've already sorted it out. Remember to put your players who play on the second day, on the Wednesday, on the bench, and have everyone playing on the Tuesday in your starting 11. And going to keep it very simple this week. I'm not going to make too many complications, but in terms of the captaincy, Lewandowski will be my captain on the first day, and then on the second day I probably will be going for Karim Benzema once again, and it's pretty much the same thing that I did in matchday 3, just a kind of reversal because of Tuesdays and Wednesdays being switched, and the same will pretty much just be maintained. I'm not going to make too many changes. 2 free transfers though, I want to make use of them. You can't stack them, remember, so you might as well use them because actually what I'm thinking of doing here is making some transfers which gives me extra money in the bank and also gets a defender that I want, and then also going into matchday 5 I can then get the other players I want, especially in the midfield and attack, which is where I want to make the bulk of my points. But Mendy in goal, pretty confident with him, and same with Azpilicueta, so long as he starts. I'm not too sure if that's going to be the case. And last season what Tuchel did is actually he gave Kepa some games in the Champions League and the Premier League from time to time, and that could happen once again. And if it does, I'm in a very bad position because I've got Destanoglu, who, as I talked about earlier, I just have no confidence in him doing well. But Sula, I think he could do very well despite Bayern Munich losing 5-0 recently. Benfica are probably the toughest team in this group until Barcelona actually pick up some form. But yeah, very happy with him and confident in match days 4 and 5 of Sula doing well. And then looking at Thomas Meunier, not confident at all. But hopefully, Dortmund can keep it to a respectable scoreline if I do keep Meunier, and he can get some ball recovery points and maybe get 4 or 5 despite losing or drawing or whatever happens in that game. But not confident with Borussia Dortmund assets, especially with Haaland out, like I said. And then we've got Joao Cancelo. Very happy with him. Does play on the Wednesday. And yeah, going into match days 5 and 6, that's where I could get rid of him, to be honest. That's pretty much the 2 toughest games of the entire group. But Club Brugge at home should be a comfortable win for City. But then again, they got knocked out of the EFL Cup against West Ham, and then they lost to Palace at home. So things aren't looking too good for them at the moment, but I think they will produce a response. And I definitely don't want to be having double City in any fantasy format at the moment, to be honest. And that's why, as I talked about before, Laporte is probably going to to be on the chopping block. And then we have Alvarez, just a cheap bench fodder option. Of course, Barrios is my preference, around 5 million, but I'm pretty happy with Alvarez regardless, to be honest. And he is cheaper, so I'm probably going to be keeping him. And then once again with Borussia Dortmund assets, not confident in them at all. I know Bellingham is a quality player. He's actually been scoring some goals in the Bundesliga too, but still not too confident. And I wouldn't mind selling him, to be honest, at this point. But of course, you could say that's also reactionary to match days 2 and 3. Let's see how he does in match day 4. I think if Dortmund do score, Bellingham will be a big part of that, despite playing a bit of a deeper role at times. And then we've got Phil Foden. I think he can do really well in match day 4. Not too confident in match days 5 and 6. But I'm happy to keep him for match day 4. And then we've got Sane, who, to be honest, I could actually captain him over Lewandowski, and I am considering it, to be honest. But I do think Lewandowski will start to outperform the German. But Sane has been absolutely electric this season, one of the best wingers in the world. So very happy with him, and I think he will continue doing well. And then we have Dan Juma. I got rid of Jorginho for him, so actually I would have made even more points. I could have been, aiming for the stars with 110 plus points if I kept the Italian, but who would have thought Jorginho would get 2 penalties, get ball recovery points, and a man of the match? I think the ball recovery points we could expect, but not all of the others piled on top of that. But Dan Juma, very good attacking player, probably one of the best, if not the best, around his price point from an offensive point of view. So very happy to keep Dan Juma. And then looking at the front line, very confident in it this week at least. I think Benzema, happy to keep him for match day 4, even match days 5 and 6 to be fair. But I might go for Haller, and that will give me enough money to then upgrade my midfield slightly. And then, of course, Adeyemi facing Wolfsburg, who have been very poor recently. Obviously, they looked really good in match day 1, but the German club have been very poor since then. And I think Adeyemi could do really well. And, he's making a great case to be called up to the German national team. So I think he's definitely one to look out for anyway, just in general, even, outside UCL Fantasy. And then we've got Robert Lewandowski. Yeah, he's returning in every single game. One of the favourites to win the Ballon d'Or. And yeah, he's just in great form. So happy to keep him, and I think he could do really well. And I can see a man of the match performance coming within the next 2 match days, to be honest. So yeah, he could be in for another double-digit return. And now we're going to be looking at my possible transfer plans. I know it looks really weird, and you're like, wait, you're just regressing your team, or making it worse, if anything. But I actually think Mazzauri could offer really good value. I had him, I think, in my limitless team in match day 2. He didn't disappoint with 8 points. Did it again in match day 3. He gets a lot of ball recoveries. He has a bit of attacking potential. So in match day 1, despite Ajax not keeping the clean sheet, he still got some points on the board. And he is so cheap. Obviously, he started off at 4.5 million. And whenever people ask me, who's your favourite 4.5 million asset? People are like, is it Cristiano, who's doing really well for Sheriff? I actually said Mazzauri. And I am thinking of bringing him in ahead of match day 4. I know he's facing Dortmund, and it is away. I think Dortmund will score. But looking at match days 5 and 6, I think Mazzauri can get some attacking returns, get the ball recovery points, and just tick along nicely. And then also what I could do with the money by getting this budget defender, who, by the way, in match days 2 and 3, no clean sheets really, but got 4 and 5 points respectively. So very happy with this guy. As a 4 million option, he's probably the best. Better than Roussillon now, who is 4.2 million, and just Wolfsburg are looking really poor. But yeah, with this Salzburg defender, what you can do is just have him in your team, whenever you need some points on the board. He can get those ball recoveries and you're good to go. And what that enables me to do is to then do Benzema to Haller. Yeah, maybe another downgrade potentially. But then it also allows me to upgrade one of my midfielders to Salah. And ahead of match days 5 and 6, I definitely want Salah. But to be honest, even going without him in match day 4, that could also bite me. So let me know what you think of my transfer plans, what I should do in my team. And I've got 1.9 million in the bank after making these 2 transfers. But if I weren't to make these transfers and I just have my normal team, then I actually just have this. I just have 0.3 million. Is absolutely nothing, to be honest. But let me know what you would do with this team. I think Laporte is probably a weakness. I don't think Meunier is a weakness all of a sudden. I think he's still a good option, but Mazzauri would offer better value for money and also more confidence in Ajax. I think they'll top the group from now on, especially with Haaland out for Dortmund. And also, I think it gives me enough money to then make upgrades elsewhere. But that's what I'm looking at. Of course, there are other weaknesses in my team potentially, but I think my front line is very good. I'm happy to keep it for the rest of the group stages, to be honest. And Mendy is still a strength, not a weakness, so long as he continues to start. Same with Azpilicueta. I think Mendy will play the majority of the games in the Champions League, but there could be one match in the group stages where Kepa just comes in and Mendy owners like myself are in the mud. Hopefully Azpilicueta continues to start in the Champions League. It hasn't been looking too good in the Premier League. But what I'm hoping for is that Reece James is benched for the Champions League. Azpilicueta plays in that attacking right wing back role for Chelsea, and then at the weekend Reece James start, because, well, I'll be talking about that in my future FPL reaction streams and also in the videos. But thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. Like I said before, we did reach 7,000 subscribers recently. Very much appreciated, and we're aiming for 10,000, so we're going strong. All thanks to you lot, so thank you very much once again. Good luck with Matchday 4 in UCL Fantasy. Hopefully there's more green arrows. I'm looking to have the best rank I've had so far. I haven't actually reached the top 1k in UCL Fantasy before. I've been close, around 3,000, 4,000 last season and 20,000 in my first season. Looking to get into that top 1k, and I'm very happy with where I am at the moment, but it's very early days. After Matchday 1, I was around 200, 300,000 in the world, so anything can happen. There's still plenty of match days left, but remember, there's only 13 overall compared to FPL, where you have 38, where you have probably more time, to be honest, to make things right. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.